This founder built a content audit tool to scratch their own itch after realizing 80% of most websites' content gets zero traffic. But her homepage, it was making a smart, well differentiated product sound like every other SEO or AI writing tool out there. In this Clarity Gem, we break down the copy, unpack what actually makes this product valuable, and walk through how to position it for agencies, nonprofits, and anyone tired of vanity content metrics. Let's get into it.
Hi, I'm Jen Boland, and I am the founder of Satisfyly. Satisfyly is a content audit tool that helps people see the big picture of how their content is performing. And basically, what it does is it pulls together data from Google Analytics, Search Console. We also help you collect feedback data on every page on your website, usually your content pages, not landing pages. And then pull all of that data together in a way that helps you see what's working and what is not working on your website. Now, one of the reasons why I was inspired to build this tool was been doing content audits for clients manually. One, it was a bear to do all of this work manually all the time, even though I was using Python and various scripts to pull all this data together. But two, when I was doing these audits, I was finding over and over again sometimes as much as 80% of the content on someone's website received no page views in the prior calendar year, which is completely crazy. On average, it's usually in the 40 to 60% is what you will see. And I knew that people needed a way to have this information exposed to them so that they could know what to do. And so that's why I built Satisfyly.
Yeah, I love it. You're doing what pretty much every really well-known SaaS vendor does, more often than that, which is solve your own really annoying pain points that you see across yourself and from clients that you worked with, and now you're taking all of your coding chops plus data knowledge and building that into a tool. So if I were to kind of describe this, it sounds to me like this is kind of, an assistant to SEMrush, Google Search Console, Google Analytics, put all of that together. And then you just have one really easy to use tool that anyone can kind of get their insights from. Is that accurate?
Yes.
And do you think, who are you kind of thinking of are your biggest competitors?
It's interesting because the competitors all are pure SEO play competitors. And one thing that I'm not playing in is in the space of creating new content and having a tool that helps you create that new content. One, because I feel like that market is saturated. Two, my feeling on all of those AI, LLM based tools is they create what I call consensus content. And if you're using those tools to create consensus content, that's content that likely will never see the light of day as AI overviews just take over the world. Like, it's just people will not use Google to search for that content anymore. It's already happened and it's only going to get worse. And so I really wanted to stay out of that particular space in the content audit world and really focus on improving existing content, pruning content, and just showing the big picture, assisted conversion. So I have a little story. I was working with a client. They had previously made a big SEO play and they were crushing it, except for the fact that none of the visitors that came in on all of that amazing search content they had created were actually their donors. This was for a nonprofit. And when I showed them using the segment overlap tool in Google Analytics, I was like, these are your donors that give. These are the people that find your site on organic search. And they do not overlap at all, except for a little bit on searching for your name. Once we took those out, it was almost nobody. And I was like, this, is not an efficient way to go after people. So just helping sort of people see, and the assisted conversions piece is what I think is so critical. What is actually moving the needle on your site as opposed to just getting page views. And everything else before was just focused on page views.
Got it. That's really helpful context. If you don't mind, do you want to kind of pull up your screen and we can kind of through your homepage? I know you recently redid it, and I'm looking forward to kind of sharing what's working and maybe some areas where you can improve and get more conversions. It sounds like to me, this is very much a tool tied to SEO as well. So I'm guessing a lot of your kind of ideal customers would be agencies. Is that accurate?
It is. I do feel like probably selling to agencies is going to be a big deal. Are you seeing the correct screen?
I am. So the first thing I see here is stop wasting time on content that doesn't work. As your H1, it's not just about more content. It's about the right content, but your most impactful work, the stuff that actually connects and converts, is buried beneath layers of meaningless metrics. Cool. I like kind of the H1 telling you that like, stop wasting time and money on stuff that isn't working. However, just to your point right there, something that you might even want to consider is if this is really going to bake on agencies and you're really baking on the SEO side of things, why is that not mentioned in your H1 or within your sub?
That's actually a really good question. And I am an SEO person, so I thought about that. Yeah, I have thought a little bit that I may need to probably rework this entire thing because this is very much focused on the problem. And I think I probably should have started with the solution. And yes, this is all a work in progress. And it's always challenging.
That's why I do these to kind of help people kind of see what is working. I love the design of it. It's really kind of minimal, but like minimal in the right ways. I would almost even challenge you to say in that H1, even something as simple as stop wasting time on SEO consensus content that doesn't work would even be better. I think there's even more tighter ways to say that when you're really wanting it to be really clear that this is for agencies. The other thing I'm going to just immediately be a little bit blunt, but nice about is I don't think start a free audit is a great CTA. And unless you can prove me wrong, that just feels very vanilla. And like every agency website has that. Every agency software site has that as well. What does that mean for pain point that you want an agency to get when it's out in there? That's a question for you. And then I can help you rework that.
So for right now, my goal is to get as many people on this tool and to get as much feedback as possible, which is why I'm offering the free audits. I do not plan to keep a free audit for forever and sort of hoping that I can drop that in the next 6 to 8 weeks. But really, this is still alpha testing is done. I've gotten amazing feedback from content strategists who are very well known in the industry, but the next step is really I need more feedback from more users. And so my goal is just to get as many people into the tool in the next 4 to 6 weeks as possible. So that's why I'm giving it away for free. It's 14 days and it's not all the data. It's just a limited amount of data. But yeah, so potentially something similar.
I love that you're already getting a lot of feedback on this. What is the number one value add that these content strategists and these agencies are telling you based off of being in the tool?
That the tool updates nightly. And so it's always a fresh picture of everything that's going on your site. Whereas, let's say you're running Screaming Frog, you have to rerun it manually every day or every week or every month. And this is constantly updated, always showing you where you stand because it's bringing all that data together for you regularly. And then also bringing in like the content feedback piece. I think that's really huge. And that's where I'm probably really different is that, getting like the star rating, getting people to rate the content and provide text feedback as well is something that, to my knowledge, none of these other tools are doing.
Okay, so you just heard of half the two pieces of feedback that you're getting all the time as value props. So this content feedback piece, which is huge, and the fact that it's updating all the time, every single day. Neither one of those things is in your H1 right now, or no setback. Immediately just add those in there. If those are your number one pieces of feedback, put that in there. Make that part of your hero section so it's so incredibly easy for someone to be within 5 seconds. Oh, this is the tool for me, or this is not the tool for me. Second thing that I have to see all the time, and I'm just going to nitpick at this, is you have 2 separate CTAs with slightly different wording in your main navigation menu, and then also within your H1. I would probably argue just immediately to get rid of the free audit because that just sounds super generic. And then I don't even know if I didn't know this was software, I would think you're just another consultant, freelancer agency offering a free audit. I would maybe just change that even to something as vague as create your free account and have that be the same CTA within the navigation menu as well as within the hero section. And then therefore you're just telling everyone, hey, that is very consistent. Create your free account. People don't have to guess on it. And then if you're adding in the 2 pieces of value prop, which is that feedback piece, and then also in the time and the fact that it's updated all the time so they don't have to rerun it, those are huge value adds for the right agencies, particularly if you're hiring an SEO agency and maybe you have 10, 20, 50 different clients. That's going to save them a huge amount of time.
Yeah.
So if you want to scroll down on the page, so I now kind of see most of your content is dead weight. This is just, I guess, maybe this is kind of the point of this was just kind of explaining the problem. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Okay, so I think this is fine. Maybe something that you could do that, in my experience, works extremely well on pages like this is I know you have a lot of alpha and beta users. You maybe even have some kind of paid accounts as well. I would add in some social groups before you even get through the problem. So what you'll see on a lot of landing pages on home pages is you got a row of logos or one flagship testimonial. It could literally be your best buddy, whatever it is. I'm sure you already have a testimonial already. Just be like, hey, that, piece of feedback you have in an email where it's like, this saved me so much time. I don't have to rerun these reports all the time, or I love the feedback tool. Put that in there before you even explain the problem. Because therefore you're just kind of hindering, hey, this isn't just another consultant, this isn't another software. People are actually using this and getting better.
Gotcha. So that's kind of what I have over here, but probably get more testimonials. I don't have enough yet. And so that's sort of the problem. So I probably, as I get a few more testers, I can get some more of those testimonials and really beef that up. That's a big goal. But I do love the idea of create free account and making it really clear that this is software and not services.
I get that it's in flux, but I have no idea. I'm on this page for the first time. I have no idea that's a testimonial. Add someone's name there. Like, they're not going to care that, if they actually gave you that quote, put their name in there so it actually looks like it's them. Because I would have no idea. Okay. And I didn't even know that I had an idea about that until that was the case. Gotcha. Something else you can mention is you don't need that many testimonials to make a difference. That is a dirty secret in this industry. If you literally just, and I'm sure you already have them.
I probably do. I just need to find them.
Take 2 of them, even 1 of them. Okay. Ideally, I would say 1 to 3. If you have 3, you can kind of do the rule of 3s, which you can do on pricing. Just take 3 of them. It doesn't matter what they are. That just kind of mimic back the save me time. I love the feedback on the content, that sort of, just because it's automatically going to increase your conversions into free signups and into paid signups, overnight. I see it every single time.
Okay, that's super helpful. All right.
What if you could see the complete picture? So page views view, and then different kinds of features. So page views, page visitors view before converting, real human feedback. That's huge. Out-of-date content, team workflow management. I don't see anything in here about that one value prop that you mentioned, which was this saves me time as it reruns every night. Maybe replace one of the other ones in there. Because also team workflow management feels really generic. Are you a content audit tool, or are you a product management software? Are you another version of Ahrefs? Something like that. Kind of get what I'm saying. That feels very generic. Whereas you just want to mimic back what people are already telling you is the big value.
That's super helpful.
Awesome. And if you want to scroll down, know what works, fix what doesn't. Unified data view, actionable user insight, smart prioritization. I don't have a problem with any of this. However, because you don't have any sort of screenshot, any sort of GIF, any sort of additional language that kind of explains, even if it's just all text, those feel really, really generic. And that works great if you're Google Analytics and you are basically the household name. You're a new startup. So either fine-tune the text and the copy to be very, very specific, on what you mean by unified data view, actionable user insights, and smart prioritization, so that people can instantly get why that's helpful for them and be very, very specific and be very, very clear. Or keep that, you can even just keep that language, but actually add in screenshots or GIFs that explain it further for you.
Okay. Yeah. The problem is the screenshots are like so big, I like couldn't figure out how to make them work. And so what I may end up needing to do is put in a video.
That is another way to go about it. There's a bunch of different ways. One, if you want to chat out this offline afterwards, have you kind of take a look at the tool, give you some design feedback on, and also some additional copy feedback on what might make the most sense in your scenario. But the video is another great way to do that. I might even challenge you even more to say, put the video in your hero section, because that's going to make it more personal. You have the advantage that the big companies don't. And Google Analytics and people like that probably aren't going to want to put their founder's face right up on the tool. You can do that as Jen. Like, you can literally just be like, "Hey, I'm Jen. I built this tool for my own use cases. These are what my clients are saying." And then you just walk through that demo. That is a killer way to build trust and really increase conversion right on that hero section. And then therefore this section doesn't necessarily matter as much. It still needs to punch up a little bit more than what you have today. But a video could even just be a very simple loop.
Okay.
And then again, start the free audit to create a free account.
Yep. I can update all those buttons.
Yeah. Powered by AI that understands your data and brand. What are you trying to mean? What are you trying to keep?
Yeah. So part of this work is not in the free account, but in the paid version, users will send me a brand guideline and any audience research. And I'm going to put that into a custom GPT that I will create for each client that's baked into the startup fee. And then what happens is when there's this Ask AI button for every single page, which allows you to then get details on how a user uses the page. And then you download that and upload it to ChatGPT. Eventually, it'll all be built in, but I decided just for the MVP, make it simple. And you upload, your report to your custom GPT, and then I have a prompt guy that allows you to go through and ask the right questions depending on how you want to improve or fix or get recommendations to improve the content.
I love it. That sounds like an absolutely killer feature, and it's super unique. I would have no idea about any of that from what the copy you have today.
Okay.
Love it. If you want to scroll down.
Yeah.
Turn insights into high-performing content. I know we were chatting a little bit offline about how you didn't want to necessarily turn into another AI writing tool, because there's a ton of those already, and a lot of that creates what I would call copycat content, what you call consensus content. I think this entire section probably could be reworded so that, because it sounds very similar to what those AI writing tools are doing. I would find a way to tweak this so that it doesn't.
Okay.
Go down. Get your free content audits. That's my question to you again. So do you want to give them a free content audit, or do you just want them to find it?
They get a free content audit. That's for 14 days. And then it goes away if they don't pay.
So do you want to keep that free content audit language, or do you think it's going to make more sense to say create your free account?
I don't know. I think that there's some value in telling maybe it needs to say create your free account so we're consistent. And then maybe this sentence needs to be your free content audit will show, and then these 3 bullets.
That could be one way to go about it. But when I kind of look at this page, I kind of immediately see there's a lot of text here. There's a lot of things, and you are basically creating a little bit more friction for people. So I wonder if I like the idea that you have takes less than 5 minutes to connect. Maybe get rid of results ready within 2 business days, because that's automatically just going to give more friction if you're telling people they can get value from this immediately from starting. Just get rid of that and just say, takes less than 5 minutes to connect. Maybe make that be your kind of subhead below create your free account. And then the fact
Okay.
that confirm your site map is accessible, create your free account and connect to analytics and search console, analyze your data, and we try to schedule your results. Our dividend is free to be like, so it's a little bit more, they have control over them. But those things, apps are great. I don't even know if you need the rest of the bullet.
Okay.
It just adds more friction. What do you think?
It probably does. Yeah.
Cool. And if you want to scroll up, because I think we're at the bottom of the page.
We are. It's just the standard footer stuff. So
I like it. Maybe one piece back to you, if you already have a newsletter, maybe change subscribes. I would change subscribe for exclusive updates to something that's a little bit more personalized. You have all this experience. You're building a tool from your own first painting. Utilize that to your advantage. You're a solo founder. You can be able to say things that big name companies can't say. Lean into that. That's going to help your conversion.
okay.
Any kind of thoughts about that?
No, I think those were all some really good recommendations.